He's Michael Kay. That was his call on the Yes Network, and Michael joins us now. Did you prepare any differently last night, Mike?
Not really. I'm kind of used to him with his theatrics, for the 20 years that I've gotten a chance to broadcast his game. So I just prepared, I guess, for him to do something special, but really no preparation in that.
We had Joe Girardi on in the first hour, and I said, was there any plan on taking him out in the 8th or 9th inning, let him go out to shortstop, get the standing ovation, and bring him off? And he said, no. Did you think that was maybe the way it was going to end?
I thought that they were going to take him out because we had gotten a tip that his former teammates were hiding in the runway. And if you saw the shot that we took from left field on Yes, there were people that were always standing in front of there, so he couldn't see it from short. And I do get a feeling, I'm not saying that Joe's fibbing, that if Robertson had gotten the first 2 outs and nobody was on and there was a 3-run lead, they might have taken him out. I just think they might have, because why would those guys have been hiding like that?
What was your reaction with Keith Olbermann's comments on Jeter and how everybody sort of grabbed the baton and ran with it?
Well, I think Keith is brilliant, but I don't quite understand what he's saying. Just because you're the 6th best Yankee doesn't mean that you're small potatoes. I think Derek Jeter is greater than the sum of his parts. I really do. The best way I could put it, Dan, he's the greatest player I've ever seen that's not great at anything. So if you want to pick apart that he doesn't hit for power and he's not fast and he doesn't have the greatest arm and he doesn't have great range, okay, great. But you put it all together and he's going to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. So however you want to quantify it, whatever list you want to put him on, is he overrated? Well, who does that? Who does the rating? We do. So don't get mad at Derek Jeter about it. He's pretty darn special, I think.
But what does Jeter think about himself and his career?
I think he's pretty proud of it. He's not too much into self-evaluation, or he hates talking about himself, so you really don't get him to do that much. But, I think that the best way you could sum it up is the way he summed it up on the press conference after the game when he said, I don't think there's ever been anybody in the history of baseball that works harder than me. They might have worked as hard, but nobody works harder. I think he looks at himself kind of as a lunch pail player, and he's very glamorous, and he's a superstar, and he dates the supermodels, and he does his thing on Broadway. But I think he just looks at himself as a guy who punches the clock. And when the fans are chanting "Thank you, Jeter," he said, "I'm just doing my job." I really think that's the way he looks at it. He's just doing his job.
He's Michael Kay, the Yankee announcer for the Yes Network, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. How weird is it going to be next year?
I thought about that a lot. It's going to be odd. There's always been that one big star, and for that long run there where there are like 5 or 6 stars every single day, and to not see him out there, he's almost like part of the furniture or the wallpaper in your living room. You don't really notice it until it's gone. I think that this year everybody's been preparing for it. That's why it's been such a love fest. I think fans are really girding for it. They don't know what to expect. And really, if you look at next year's Yankee team, there are good players on it, but are there iconic players? And the only iconic player, ironically enough, is going to be A-Rod, if, in fact, he does come back, which I think he will. So he's going to be the guy that people are going to look to, and they're not going to go to the bathroom when he comes up to bat.
Any chance A-Rod would play shortstop next year?
I've talked to a lot of people, and they just don't think physically he'd be able to do it with 2 hip surgeries. And also, since the last time he played shortstop, he definitely has a different body type. Now, nobody has really seen much of him this year, Dan. Maybe he's gotten himself really lean where he could play shortstop, but I don't think they're going to put a 39, 40-year-old out there at shortstop. They're going to look for a shortstop that could be there for a couple of years. If A-Rod plays, he's going to be the DH, or he's going to be probably the third baseman.
So who replaces Jeter?
Don't know. I mean, we might have seen him last night. Could have been J.J. Hardy. Could be a guy who is a free agent coming up this year. And I know that they like Hardy, and Hardy was asked about it. He said he would consider it, but right now it's all about the Orioles. And, people keep saying Troy Tulowitzki, who grew up idolizing Jeter, he's coming off hip surgery. He's got a lot of money on his contract. If you look at his splits, he's a different player outside Coors Field. I'm not sure the Yankees exactly know who that shortstop's going to be. I can tell you this, that shortstop is not in their farm system, though.
Girardi said he didn't expect Jeter to play tonight, but he did expect him to play over the weekend. What do you think will play out at Fenway?
Well, I would have been really disappointed, and I would have been really surprised if he didn't play, because that would have gone against everything that he stands for. I'm healthy, put me in the lineup, no complaints, no excuses. And when people started to speculate that he might not play, I was really stunned. And they're saying, well, Ted Williams didn't play. Well, Ted Williams didn't have that same reputation as Jeter about, hey, I've got to be out there every single day. So I think he's doing right by his legacy, even if it's as a DH. And I think the one concession he's making, I want to play shortstop for the last time at Yankee Stadium. That's cool. And tonight, if he doesn't play, that's cool. He's probably exhausted. We all got into the hotel about 3:30, and just the emotion. He probably didn't sleep at all. But I think he's going to play Saturday and Sunday. I think he's going to be the DH, and I think that's the right thing to do. And as he said, it honors the Red Sox, it honors the rivalry, and it honors the fans that are coming to the game.
I know that in the moment, we're told to be professional, but there's moments sometimes when we're not, that we're human, that something affects us. You're calling that base hit last night. What was the emotions? We had Cliff Floyd in here, and he said he started crying. He said when Jeter went out to shortstop, for the final time, he said, he goes, I don't know why, I just did. How did the emotions work last night for you?
You know what? I kind of looked at it this way, Dan. I looked at it more as like a happy moment than a sad moment. Some people cry at happy moments. I don't. I usually cry at sad moments. So I didn't look at it as like a funeral. I looked at it as a celebration of this unbelievable American life. I mean, think about it. How many men have lived a better life than Derek Jeter? There's been very little rain that's fallen in his life. Very, very little. So that was just one more great moment. But, maybe I'm talking out of school. I did the game with Ken Singleton, who had a great career of his own. And when Jeter was walking around and hugging his former teammates and then went out to shortstop, Kenny was crying. So it affects people in a different way. I did not cry. I got choked up last year when Mariano started crying. I think there's something in my DNA when I see somebody cry, I start to cry. But I didn't think that Derek Jeter for one moment was going to cry. So if he didn't break down, I was going to hold it in.
Yeah, but we're Irish. We cry over everything. Right?
I guess so. I mean, now as I get older, Dan, I started to cry at the opening of Grand Union, so I don't know what's going on with me.
Great to talk to you, Mike. Safe travels to Boston. Thanks for joining us.
You got it, Dan. Thanks so much.
All right, that's Michael Kay, Yankee broadcaster.